Play my. I got Super Nintendo. Listen. I got Mike Tyson Punch Out on Sega.
Never beat him.
No, I got not
that.
I got Riddick Bowe. I'm sorry. I got Riddick Bowe.
You gotta let punches go. You can't wait until they get in your mess and fire, go right back. And don't take 30 seconds to
Yeah.
Let me get my Julius on.
He couldn't hit. He's playing like a sissy. He's missing. Let me see you, boss. I hadn't started dancing yet. What is it? First round and Burns gets hurt. Burns got done. Echo is done early in the round. Great first round. Incredible. Perhaps one of the best in middleweight history. Hey, that black guy, he hit hard.
Bang, 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 bang.
Fire.
Fire! Past weekend's fights was fire! Welcome to another episode of Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. I'm your host, writer and reporter for RealCombatMedia.com, G.Alé Dampierre, and I'm joined by all three of my co-hosts. Were able to make it on right on time. I didn't have, we weren't no interruption. This is perfect. It's got to be more. It's got to be like this more often. Not, I know you guys got your life, so I'm not going to stress it out a bit. But, of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Ibn Daoud, Bay 22 Boxing.
You already know, man. 215, let's talk some boxing, man. Let's talk about this scandal and the scandal.
We'll get to it. Let's get the introductions out the way. And
scandal!
For the admin formerly known as Julius Fox.
Don't you fucking say it.
Right?
Sugar Bear.
Don't you fucking say that boy's name. I swear to God.
Julius Sugar Boy. Sugar Sweet Tank Fox.
Because
predictions so sweet they can't be beat. Julius Sugar.
I don't know what the fuck that was about. He really went out his way to make big announcement. Sugar Fox.
Sugar Fox, that's the new shit.
And last but not least, Blaine of Truth and Facts about boxing. How's it hanging, Mr. Blaine?
Shit. With the way they working me, it's hanging, man.
Hey, you hanging. But shit. But if anything's hanging, it's probably Kell Brook's eye socket. Can we get into that, folks? Shit. Errol Spence. Call me Nostradamus all you want. I got the tarot card reading, put the globe in front of me or whatever. But actually, if anything, I'm just gonna have my my Kermit the Frog and sipping just because I told you guys. I told you guys, didn't I? Then did I not say the 11th round? Something was gonna happen in the 10th.
Well, actually, in my opinion, I think you need a cup of courage because it took you the week of the fight to make a decision.
All right. So let's. I could have sworn we straightened this out. I could have sworn we straightened this out. My live feed, but for viewers who didn't see this, I'll have to hang you out in the laundry too. There's a reason why it took me so long, right? And those first 6 rounds, were they not? Did that not give me some type of credit on? Gee, I see why George took so long. Those 6 rounds, you had you thinking like, oh damn, what's it gonna be like? Then that layoff for Errol Spence looked like it might have, hampered him a bit. Don't come at me, first of all, Bo, for respecting the competitiveness of this match. All right, I was right, wasn't I?
I expect you.
The fireman came there, put out the fire. So what? He didn't arrive in 10 minutes. He got there in 15.
We was all right.
We was all right, but
some of us just came to that conclusion in March. Some of us, like me, I knew he was going to do it. If we go,
look, you picked the winner. I said, as far as the outcome.
That late stoppage. What are you talking about? I said, I got videos, man.
Everybody calls stoppage, George. Come on, what are you talking about?
I'm not taking credit away. I'm just saying I came around and I picked the exact round.
Wait a minute. It was hard for you to decide because you have dual citizenship.
No, that's not true at all. I have a
That's what
passport,
I-
and I think you may have a passport confused with
Trying to say George,
my.
This nigga.
he trying to say George was a secret Brook fan on the low though.
Oh, never
George
that.
is a
No,
secret
first of all,
champion
look,
agent.
if there's one thing you had, look, I even made a troll video for the UK group about how Special K actually turned out to be rather ordinary. Ironic that he even had that nickname, because for me and Bo, I said it on your podcast yesterday that I didn't think he was so special. It's more or less that he's just a very sound fighter, just a very sound fighter.
Well, I don't want to disparage Kell Brook, but it's just that I think this is a byproduct of the Floyd Mayweather era, honestly, that they think that every good fighter is a skilled fighter. I don't think that Kell Brook is not skilled. I think he's fundamentally sound, but his physicality has a lot to do with the success he had.
Right.
He's a big welterweight. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. Thurman is an elite level fighter, skilled fighter, but he's not a big guy. He's an inch shorter than Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is an inch shorter than Kell Brook. Kell Brook's an inch shorter than Errol Spence. Physicality has a role. If you got a nice 1-2 and you got some height and you're solid, it makes you a better fighter in that division. You go to 154, I'm not so sure.
And his movement and his defense and all that, like Kell Brook is like he tight. He's tight.
That's,
like
at,
you know what I mean? Like
at 147, because if you put Julian Williams, if you take Kell Brook,
J-Rock, no.
That's what I'm saying. No. And I was talking about this early on the page. I like Errol Spence, but I don't feel he's gonna lose till he go to 54. Because if you ask me Errol Spence versus Julian Williams, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, see, J-Rock. See, J-Rock a bigger cat than these dudes at 47 though, and J-Rock is skilled and he can be pretty quick. Even though Charlo caught up to him, when you look at the little stuff that you look at what he did before he got caught up to, aside from what he got put down, he was boxing good.
Yeah, he was
behind off, and he was moving. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, and when you put that size on it, now EJ got to deal with that side because EJ's methodical. He's not quick. But he ain't slow.
The thing
He's
is,
not slow.
EJ reminds me of Sergey Kovalev at 175. The marriage of Kovalev's heavy ass hands and his fundamental soundness make him formidable. But if you put him at cruiser, and you know it's going out on a limb, but if you put him at cruiser, you put him at heavy, well, it's a different situation. You're good for where you're at, and I like Errol Spence. I don't know how he's going to be at 54 when he ever goes there, but his power has a lot to do with his success. It does.
All right. Well, here's my question along those lines then. Was this victory more or less a credit to Spence or a exposure of Kell Brook?
It was a credit to Spence.
Credit to Spence.
It was a mixture. It was a mixture of both. It was 80% credit to Spence, 20% exposure of Kell Brooks as far as the aftermath of the Golovkin fight that he shouldn't have took in the first place.
That's true too. That's true. You got to wonder. And I'm not saying that Kell Brook would have won had he not took the Golovkin fight, but that's a factor that he could have been shell-shocked.
I mean, at least it definitely seemed like it made a difference as far as the longevity of this fight.
Well, not the longevity from the mental aspect.
It may have made a difference even in his eye. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, no, yeah, I'm about to say it wasn't so much as for me, and I said this on podcast with you guys, I said, I questioned the mental makeup of Kell Brooks and his corner. And I said that. I said I questioned that because the way he got beat and what them doctors told him, like I use this as an example all the time. I broke my leg years ago, like back when I was probably fucking George's age, you know, drinking breast milk and shit. I broke my leg.
You can hate all you want.
So me and my son one day, we was jumping off the steps, right? He jumped off the first one, I jumped off the first. He jumped off the second one, I jumped off the second. He jumped off that third one. Looked back, said, "You coming, Daddy?" I said, "No, you little motherfucker. We finna find another game to play." And that shit goes through your mind. You know what I'm saying? You're getting older. You went through an injury. Do you want to go through it again? Do you want to chance it? And that went through his mind, and he was like, "No, fuck that, no."
And
not only that,
Kell Brook went into this fight with consultation from the doctors over the first time.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely in the back of his mind in that.
But listen, guys, even further than the mental aspect of it, right? You got the physical. If this eye socket is broke, then I'm quite sure this side of the face is overworking in some type of way, right? So now, because this one is broke, this one is more susceptible to being broke. So you have like a compound injury.
That's true.
And you know what
I'm saying?
I feel like
you know why I say it's a credit to Spence, because Spence wasn't necessarily trying to exploit the previous injury.
That's right.
He wasn't.
That's true.
He wasn't
That's
going
true.
after it.
That's true.
And if Kell Brook wasn't defensively sound enough to protect the other eye, then that means that Errol Spence has the skills to connect. That's why I say, well, it's a credit to Spence either way, because if you were defensively sound, it go back to the Cotto and Margarito fight. A lot of people say, well, Cotto wouldn't have won that fight if Manny hadn't fucked up that eye. And the way I look at it is, well, Margarito's not defensively sound enough to protect that eye. So I give Cotto full credit. Because it's your job to protect that eye. If you
not only that,
this was gonna happen.
Not only that, it's the opposite eye. And guess what? One fighter is conventional and the other fighter is southpaw.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Every time
and you know what?
Go from this side to this side.
And I'm glad and I'm glad you even mentioned that, because in a way, and it's funny after the fact, slow, subtle things hit you after the fight. It's like, gee, why didn't I put that in consideration when thinking about it? And when the one thing that came into my mind was when it came down to it, Spence is almost, at least the way he fights, or at least even the way he went about this fight, was basically like a southpaw Golovkin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, even as far as the way he defends. So it's great. Literally everything, the same thing that happened, just with doubled the rounds.
Yeah.
Yo, but I never even thought of that.
No, go ahead, Evan.
I never even thought of that comparison, but you want to know something? In a lot of ways,
right,
it's true. Except for Spence, he's a little slicker. You know what I mean? Right. That's granted, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same, even down to the not moving of the head.
Mm-hmm. In the formal high guard.
Yeah.
He was just sitting there in that pocket. I mean, he was persistent. And the thing I loved the most about just watching him, and I'm slowly becoming a fan of this kid. I say a kid, he's my age. Was any time, and with the partisan crowd there, any bullshit glazing punch, even if he's just knocked off balance, the crowd is roaring.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was responding every single time. Remember, there's a moment in the fourth round where, he got tripped up and fell into the corner, ropes. And all of a sudden they thought, he was hurt.
Right.
And he just poured it on for 30 seconds. Just went hard as hell to his body. And just made it. And that's what made those early rounds kind of hard to judge, is because there was a lot of just shifts going around in the round. Like Brook would do Spence would do really well in the first 2 minutes, and all of a sudden Brook would come on in the last minute to just kind of erase everything, and vice versa.
The early rounds were Brook rounds, but that's because Brook was eager to go out there and make a statement. It's like overcompensating. Brook knows that it was kind of a crossover fight. He can't just go over there because this ain't JoJo Dan. This ain't Kevin Bizier. He's got to go out there and make a statement. So a lot of those early rounds, I gave him to Brook. But overall, the variable is, did the weight cut, is that why he got tired, or was it the body attack?
So,
that's the variable I got.
I'm going to be honest with you, Julius. I want to answer that. The reason why the beginning of the fight, it was going like Brook's way, you're exactly right. Brook came to make the statement. But what EJ was doing, because I watched the fight from his perspective, and then I watched it again from Kell Brook's perspective, and then I just watched it. Like, I watch boxing like that sometimes. What he was doing was he was depositing. It was jab, body, jab, body. Yeah. So when I'm fighting like that, you're gonna get off sometimes when you throw 1, 2, 3 twos and shit like that. Boop, bap, bap, boop, bap, boop, bap, bap, boop, bap. You getting off, but everybody don't see. But I can hear you because I'm close to you, and I can hear the and I can hear the and I'm gonna just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I saw. He was depositing, man. He was hitting the bank. He was hitting the bank hard.
And that's what I noticed about the reason why when people say, well, you shocked he quit and he left. No, I wasn't. Because you watched the 10th round. Brook came out like, listen, I'm just gonna give it everything I got and see what happened. And when you in a fight and you give everything you got, right? And I got nothing left. But here's a dude across from you, he's still coming giving it to you. Because the one thing about Spence, and people may get mad at me, and this is why I feel, listen, if you give me Spence and Thurman, this is why I feel I'm a favorite Spence, because when you come down to power,
Yeah.
Spence is getting. When Thurman stepped up in competition, the knockout stopped. Spence knockouts has not stopped. He stepped up in competition and he is still hurting motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't hold that against him. But it's just that the fanboy rhetoric is a little bit out of control. Like, look, it's been a long time since it's been one time. It's not a coincidence that stopped when he started stepping up in competition. A lot of people thought that you was going to wail on Danny Garcia. You ain't get to do that.
Yeah, and that's usually the case with most guys or at least when they're known for power coming on the come up. You know what I mean? And then that's when you get found out with the level of competition. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I would apply it to another example, but I'm not even going to open those can of worms right now. But you know, when some people tend to step up their quality in opponents, well, maybe we'll find out if they're knockout artists.
The difference is ain't no moving up.
I mean, I'm
no moving up.
You know what?
No moving up though.
You don't want to say it, George? I'll say it. I'll say
it. We already here. We already here at that division.
Oh man.
Oh well. All right. So
I ain't seen a Muhammad Ali or a Riddick Bowe in a long time. I ain't seen that in a long time. So.
Look, and I can, and I'll, you know what my advice for American heavyweight fans is? Just grab a Snickers.
Oh, man, it is him.
It's gonna be a while.
Oh man, it is.
It's gonna be a while. So.
No, I knew it was. That's why I started laughing.
You knew.
Me too.
I knew.
But it's look.
Me too.
Well, we can look. We'll touch on that later if y'all want, man. Because I wanted to actually, because this is gonna be either 2 hours if we'll try to get everything on this.
Man,
but if we could cut this up already, we're only like 20 minutes in and we already pretty much covered most of Spence. But just a quick, before we leave the Kell Brook and Errol Spence topic, real quick, advice for both fighters at this point. I say for Errol Spence to, like I mentioned on your podcast, Bo, that he take on Luis Collazo. That's a #2 mandatory that he can get right out the way, and a nice way to, you know, remain fresh in the division, because really he's coming off a longer layoff than Kell Brook was going into this fight. And he said that definitely played a factor for him as why he had the slow start that he did in this fight. Kell Brook, dude, take a year off at the very least, and really gather yourself and even consider when you do come back, what's that even going to look like? Like, do you really think you're going to make 147 again? I don't think so. But he definitely needs a year and a half, even probably for a layoff. What do you say, Julius?
I mean, I want Kell Brook to come back at all. I don't want to write him off, but you're talking about coming back at 54 with 2 fractured orbital bones. You know what I mean? It's a lot of tigers at 154. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's a lot of guys that could hurt him up there. Now, he could come back and fight some domestic level guys like, you know, Liam Smith.
That might be the deepest division in boxing, Julius.
And that's what I'm saying. That can you imagine Kell Brook versus Charlo? You know what I mean? Lara? Like, even Derek Hurd might hurt this guy. He might.
Lara would be a safer fight because Lara ain't trying to knock you out.
No. Lara is bigger though. Lara will hurt him.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Remember what Lara did? I think it was the Angulo's eye.
Lara will hurt him, bro.
He'll hurt him.
Sharp. He's too sharp. He'll hurt him.
If Lara is, when Brook comes back, who he is today, then yeah, he could hurt. He could really hurt Brook. Even
you got Erickson Lubin. You got
Hammer.
You got some dangerous dudes.
Legend Hammer. That guy.
Yeah.
He probably hurt him.
You got some dangerous dudes at 154.
So if you're Kell Brook and you do want to come back, you fight some domestic level guys. Liam Smith, Liam Walsh. You fight one of them. Find the safest route to a world title if you're going to do a title run. But honestly, you have to want, with what he's coming from right now, should Kell Brook even come back?
You get a belt in that division, bro, and they going to be on your behind.
Yeah.
It's too many of them, bro. It's like 7 or 8 of them. J-Rock, it's too many of them. One of them moved up.
And Spence will probably be up there by the time he comes back.
Right, it's too many of them.
You can't get away from all of them.
So what about Spence?
Well, Spence, you know, I like that idea about Collazo. I always feel that if you're holding the IBF title, unlike other titles, but when you're holding the IBF title,
go fight your man, though.
Fight your mandatory as soon as possible. Get them out of the way so that your schedule's free to make the fights that you want to make. Because they're not like the WBC, the WBO, or the WBA. If you don't fight your mandatory, as soon as you got it, is as soon as you can lose it. So get your mandatory out of the way. Get them out of the way so your schedule is free. The IBF won't fuck with you, and you can make the kind of fights that you really want to make. The unification fights.
Yeah. I want Collazo next. I want Collazo next for EJ. I want that Mando out the way. I don't want even play with the IBF. Leave them alone. Fight your Mando, and then you could try to holler at Thurman, because Thurman talking about he hurt.
Yeah.
But see, this was going to mess it up. Thurman going to come back and say, I got tune-up. Watch. I'm telling you, man. Yo, I hope I'm wrong.
You right.
I hope I'm wrong. But he going to come back. He going to say, tune-up. Boom. So you fought Collazo. So you going to have to fight somebody around when he fight that tune-up.
But would you hold it?
That's how you get it.
Would you hold it against him if he did? I wouldn't. His elbow
No.
fucked up, right?
No. I'm not even going to start talking crap. Listen, Keith beat Sean Porter, and then he beat Danny in a row.
Exactly.
Right? You know, and as much as I call him Keefy, okay, go ahead on and fight whoever you're going to fight right now. You get one. And then let's get back to unification, because that's what his dream is ultimately, is to become undisputed welterweight champion. That's what he's been saying. So, and I've been respecting that, you know. So let's take the tune up. EJ got to fight somebody else in between that, whatever, so he could be right there, and then y'all can meet up.
Yeah.
And Ibn, does Kell Brook retire for you?
Being honest, all right, now, because I give Kell a lot of stuff, right? But he showed me a lot of stuff in that fight. He did show me heart. He showed me that he would, honestly, besides Keith Thurman, I think he probably would have beat anybody else. On that night, he would have beat anybody else in the division. That's how I felt about that performance. With that being said, I respect the man. And I don't want to see nothing happen to him. And he got orbital bone injuries on both sides.
Yep.
And if he can't make 47, I'm feeling like 54 not safe. So after that conversation that we just had, literally, I feel like I kind of do hope he kind of like retire. Because he made like $5 million versus Golovkin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know what he just made in that fight, but I know he got the lion's share. His wallet should be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't want to see nothing happen to him for real. Not for real.
It's a reality.
I want them to lose, but no.
Look at if you go across the board and you look at all the alphabet titles, respective ranks, it's a lot of killers in there, man. It's a lot of killers. What's a safe route for Kell Brook to come back to? The safest route right now is the WBO route, because you got Cotto, right there. He may be holding the title a year from now, because that fight that he's about to have with Kamagat, that's for the WBO title.
Oh, yeah.
You got Liam Walsh in the ranks, Liam Smith in the ranks. That's the safest route right now. Any other route, that's his ass. He can't fight those guys. Not in a year from now. Forget it. It's either you take the safest route, which is still dangerous, or you retire. You got two fucked up eyes. What are you gonna do?
I think Kell Brook, if his money is good, he's made good investment, he was smart. You're 31 years old. You've had back-to-back major injuries on your eye. This isn't something that, as we clearly seen, this isn't something that you take time off and you heal. This is something you have to nurture. This is an injury you have to nurture. This injury. You have to properly care for this injury. You have to do all the right things, take all the right medicines, take all the right precautions.
And you can't even really give it a legit time frame.
Exactly. You can't. You know what I'm saying? This is an injury that if it happens again, we're talking, Kell, you're 31, 32 years old. You have a long life ahead of you to not be able to see after knowing what it's like to see. I can't imagine that. So I personally think if his money is right, he's made some good investments, talk to the doctors, think about it, and if you're gonna take a fight, like I said, maybe for the money or something that ain't gonna be as dangerous Amir Khan, because right now the book is out on him for everybody what they're going to be aiming for. I mean, I can imagine dudes getting in clinches with Kell Brooks and swinging their head to hit him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
Like,
I
you don't wanna deal with
wouldn't even fight Khan, bro.
Yeah, and so I personally think maybe Kell should contemplate retirement if the money is okay. You can become a commentator with Sky Sports and Matchroom Sports. I mean, they're not mad at you. You showed us some heart. And for Errol Spence, I would like to see him fight 2 more times. Like if Errol Spence fight Luis Collazo, beats him, then fight Sean Porter and beats him, man, shoot, you got to put him in conversation for Fighter of the Year. Because it's June. If he can get one fight in September, then get Porter in December, man, that would be good for him, because that's the kind of fighter that he needs to beat up.
Porter don't want that fight. Porter don't want that fight. Look at
the fight Porter wants. He wants a rematch with Kell Brook. That sorry piece of shit.
Porter don't want that fight. Porter. You could see it in Kenny Porter's eyes when they asked him about Errol Spence beforehand, before we even saw this fight. They asked him, "Yo, what do you think about Sean fighting Errol Spence?" You can see it in his eyes. He don't want that fight. And you can see
we're the number 1 ranked contender for the WBC.
Can I say something? No, can I say something? If you Sean Porter, right, and you look at what he's been doing like the past 2 years, and you look at his 2 losses, right? You look at the loss that he just had with Keith Thurman. He doesn't need to fight Errol Spence right now.
He don't.
Actually, Dawood, to your point, if you look at Porter as a whole, out of all the welterweights who have been fighting high-level competition, Porter has been fighting more level competition guys.
He do.
And that's why he's the scalp that he is when you do beat him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's definitely. And at the end of the day, Sean is a long night for everybody, even Errol Spence, because he's a long night even for him, because
he's a long night.
It'll be a long night.
Because Sean is just as big. You're talking about a guy who fought at 160 in the amateurs. Sean is a big guy too.
Right.
He's just
short. Ain't nothing more frustrating than fighting an ex-football player.
Spence is gonna have.
Damn it.
Spence is gonna have a hell of a hard time.
Evan, you're shaking your head.
With Sean Porter.
Them niggas got too much energy and they just overly aggressive.
Bro. And they be square and you be hitting them and they be firm.
Square up.
They be square and they be firm.
And
you know why? Because they used to being in square for the 3-point stance and all that shit.
And some of them can hit you back, and they're so strong that they move you and your bony ass legs at 6'9", 220.
And they be square. And they be square.
Anyway, so all right. So final thoughts on this fight. Before we move on, Brook's mentality, just the way I thought, was going to succumb to that big moment. I knew there was a big event, and the injury of and get in the thick of a fight. I just knew that his mind would just mentally revert back to that, and just coincidentally enough, it was an orbital bone that broke again. So I mean, it's almost. I mean, you couldn't. This is almost like a movie. You couldn't have written it out, at least forecasting this fight. That it just played right into what. I mean,
hey George, I just want to say. I just want to say one thing before, and I'm going to tell you one last thing. I ain't going to say nothing else. For anybody who wants to call Kell Brook a quitter, you can suck a sick dick. There's a difference between being a quitter and quitting.
That too. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Huge difference between being, because if that was the case, Kell would have did in the Errol Spence fight and the Golovkin fight. He didn't do that. But when you've experienced that and you've lived through that once and you're faced with it again, everybody has a natural instinct of survival. You want to fucking survive. And when you're faced with that, not once, but twice, you might not pick it the first time, but the second time, you're going to damn well fucking pick it the second time, because you remember how close you came to death the first time. So if anybody want to call Kell Brook a quitter, you can suck a sick dick. Okay? And
not only that,
that's some bullshit.
I want to add one more thing. One more thing. The first time, the corner pulled the plug.
Yeah.
He didn't even know his orbital was broke.
Exactly.
And guess what? It happened. That flurry wasn't even when it happened.
No.
They stopped it because he was with a bigger guy and they could see overpowering coming
Exactly.
into play and all of that.
Exactly.
So when you look at it, he only did what he did one time, and he did it after having his eye broke before.
Right. That's what I'm saying. When you say quitter to me means you have a history of giving up. Show me where Kell has that history. I would love to see that.
Or no, quitting to me is essentially when you have an opportunity in the fight. You're in the fight and you willfully give that up to just quit, like to just not continue anymore. And he literally had nothing left to offer in the fight.
Walters quit. Nicholas Walters quit. All right.
Roberto Duran quit.
Roberto Duran quit. All right. That wasn't that you was hurt. That wasn't that, you know, you're coming from something. That was that you couldn't handle this guy and you didn't want no mas.
That's right. That's right.
He came into this fight knowing what he's risking, and he felt the same thing he felt in the Golovkin fight, except now he knows. Now he knows what that shit was.
He know what it mean.
And he know what it mean. So I don't fault him for it. I was surprised Chris Eubank, of all fucking people, had something to say about it. Like, bro, he took the ass whooping that you was supposed to take. How do you even?
You son of a bitch.
You supposed to,
I know you
take
ain't
that
talking.
ass whooping.
Yeah, exactly.
It was literally the fight. It was literally your fight.
Yeah.
You know,
ain't that some shit?
You hid behind your daddy. You hid behind your daddy like this.
Tell him, Dad.
Crazy.
Tell him, Paul. Tell him, Paul.
I give Kell Brook shit.
That's how he did.
Listen, I give Kell Brook shit over Ernie Smith and all of that, but I ain't gonna lie. All of that, as far as calling him soft or a pussy or anything like that, I mean, he fought Golovkin and then Errol Spence.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Exactly.
Even no matter if the Golovkin was an ass whooping joint and he wasn't going to get held accountable, he fought Errol Spence after that.
Yep.
And there was guys that didn't think he was actually going to take that fight.
I wasn't even thinking.
Well, look, George had to do it. He had to do it.
Just saying.
There was reason.
Just give him credit. I ain't calling nobody out. I'm just saying for the lump.
I didn't think he was going to take that fight.
I was one of them.
I would say I didn't know.
I didn't think Eddie Hearns wanted him to take the fight. That's what it was.
Because Eddie Hearn was talking about going to 54. That's reality. He was talking about.
And then they kept talking about Amir Khan and all this shit. They kept doing everything except saying they was going to fight him, and they always fight man dudes. And they was trying not to. It seemed like they was trying not to fight him, but at the end, they fought him.
Shout out to Eddie Hearn. Continues to make the big fights happen.
Shout out to Eddie Hearn, man.
Shout out making the big fights for me, Kell Brook. Making the big fights. Anyway, chocolate brownie was overcooked. That's just end that.
I told you,
man. I keep trying to tell you, man. A brownie is nothing compared to the truth.
Facts. All right, guys. So I'm just happen to be on boxing scene and all. I'm just seeing Jackson confirms talks. Team Ward initiated calls to hire me. So this has been an ongoing, unraveling story. For anyone who doesn't know, Sergey Kovalev obviously has been, or at least there's been word of him not really how can I say this? And I don't want to try to label racist yet, because I'm trying to be objective here, but there's a lot of very openly disrespectful to John David Daxon. Most of the times you see in certain fights where he's actually just not even looking at John David Daxon while he's talking to him. Or I've actually seen instances where he told him to shut up at one point in the corner. So it's been rumored that John David Jackson, geez, that is a tongue twister just to keep saying over and over, had been rumored to wanting to make a switch to the Ward camp to start working for them. That was a story that came from Andre Ward's manager, Jay Prince. And it's pretty much just been unraveling ever since. So this isn't the latest. I believe this was yesterday. Okay, and I believe there's another article out on it now. But a few quotes from this piece is, I'm going to make it short. I was approached to jump ship to go help Andre Ward for this upcoming fight. As you can see, I'm still here. The ship has not jumped. I'm going to get into I'm not going to get into a lot, but let the fans know I did not initiate the initial meetings of the minds to see if I could even go to Ward's team. Mm-hmm. So, gentlemen, this fight is actually quickly approaching.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of under the radar. I haven't had much attention to it. I mean, when other fights go on, it's easy to forget about it. But quickly approaching, and I mean, what are you guys' thoughts about this? There's a few guys I seen who made the post on the group, basically saying that if they were under the mindset that Sergey Kovalev is a full-blown racist, this was their chance to really have at it. So and now John David Jackson saying that he never initiated, but they try to come out to him. So I mean, there's also that narrative for Kovalev fans who think that Andre Ward is just planting seeds out here to disrupt the camp. So I mean, whose side are you guys believing?
I believe JDJ that they came to him. I believe that Andre Ward's camp wants to know what's going on with Sergey because of something Ward said. Because Ward chimed in. People forget things a lot. Boxing is a sport of short memories. People forget that Ward knows about Kovalev's bad habits. He knows about those. How do you think he knows those things? And what makes people think that he doesn't want to know? So if you tell me that it's possible that somebody in Ward's camp initiated talks with John David Jackson, yeah, I could believe that. The same way the Jets was trying to look it up on motherfuckers' playbooks. It's part of the game. That's part of it. We don't know what Sergey... There's a reason that I don't want to edge this fight, and that's because this time, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, dog. I ain't been talking about this fight for that reason. And I think that Ward's camp, I honestly believe, they feel the same way. Sergey looks lighter. They showed some videos of him training. He looks lighter. He looks like he's going for speed. Is he coming in there with bad intentions? The first time out, he chose to box. This time, is he going to try to steamroll him? I think Andre Ward's camp wants to know. And their vehicle, their channel, to find out what's going on over there was probably John David Jackson because they know that his relationship with Sergey Kovalev isn't as good as it should be.
So you do see this as a tactic on Ward's side to disrupt, obviously, with the more ill-intentioned Kovalev out there. And I got to say, there's some guys who've been, critical on and I was doing this along with when it came to Kell Brook. A lot of videos of the training sessions, and it seemed like it was more focused on publicity than it was on focusing on the fight, where we've seen nothing on Andre Ward. Mm-hmm. So, and even from what I've seen, he looks ready. Looks very agile. He looks really top notch. Mm-hmm. So I could really be under that belief that Andre Ward is the psyche game that he's trying to maneuver here,
or it could be apprehensive. Nobody wants to say that. I mean, look, I feel that Ward won the fight, but I'll tell you in a heartbeat that he almost lost it. I mean, look, there's people out there. Charles feels that he lost the fight. Okay, let's cut the bullshit. That was a fucking close ass fight. Sure
I had him losing. Yeah, I mean, I had Kovalev winning that fight.
How sure are people that Andre Ward is secure? A lot of people, it's a foregone conclusion that Andre Ward is supremely confident right now. That was one of the closest fights I've ever seen him in, if not the closest fight. How do we know that he's not apprehensive? Do we want to believe that? Because it looks like people want to believe it, and they won't admit that Sergey Kovalev came very close to beating that man and very close to finishing that man. When he dropped him, dog, my heart dropped to my feet.
It's funny because I'm only laughing just because I'm just remembering just how long it took these Ward fans who were just saying that he was going to wipe the floor with Kovalev, that were like, it took them a day and a half to find their voice. It's like,
really?
Like, that was close. All right. Well, who won? Who won?
You know what? Here's the thing. And I had this talk with that fucking fanboy, A.V. Kuka. And I said, no. In my opinion, dog, at this point, it doesn't matter to me who contact who first. My thing is, something must not be right in Kovalev's, the relationship between him and John David Jackson for this conversation to even take place. Because you don't see shit like that happen in boxing unless something just is not right. So the fact that they felt comfortable enough, they said, you know what? Call John David J. He's disgruntled. Call that motherfucker and make him an offer. You know what I'm saying? The fact that
let me add something to that. You absolutely right. But haven't people known that their relationship was bad before the Ward fight?
Not them Kovalev fans. They act like wasn't nothing wrong.
All right, but I'm talking about you make a valid point that they might have chose to capitalize on the fact that they see that things ain't right over there. But why are you doing that though? You didn't do that before. It ain't no secret that Kovalev disrespects that man.
Oh no, it's straight mind games. Listen, it's straight mind game. I'll be the first. Listen, it is straight fucking mind games. Which if anybody want to get mad at it, well, hold on for a second. Kovalev been talking shit since November all the way up until now. Now it's their turn to talk shit, and are we really gonna get mad about that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's straight fucking mind games. And what the fuck is George doing?
I'm gonna finish. No, I'm playing mind games with you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's straight
I'm trying to finish.
Mind game.
No, because I wanted to see, there's a continuation on this quote here, because I mean he's kind of getting at what you guys are talking about. As you guys see in the first part, I've been with Sergey going on 6 years now, and I've been with him before he won a title, and that's the right thing to do. He and I started together, yes, and titled together. We'll get this victory together, and we'll move on. Which it seems, and just hearing that, it sounds very business oriented. It's all you could tell.
I'm looking at where he says the second fight, I have more control I have more control of the corner and certain things that happen. Because it says he was noticeably quiet to see, and that's what I'm saying. Like if you read these comments, he's letting you know. Listen, that first fight, and he said on several times that Kovalev sometimes don't even listen to me. Like I tell him something and he don't even listen to me. So, like I said, the fact that it was something wrong to the point where they felt comfortable enough to make the offer, and then John Davis said, "Well, if they'd offered me Fort Knox, I'd be over there with Ward." Why would you even say something like that? And people talking about something, well, they don't have Fort Knox to offer him. No, but it's the fact that he let you know that there is a price that the motherfucker's willing to negotiate.
Okay, but we're only looking at John David Jackson's end of it, and nobody's asking why is Andre Ward's camp even in talks with this guy? What's going on y'all end?
Because that's boxing.
Yeah, I was saying, Ibn, you've been really quiet on it.
Because
look, Floyd Mayweather do shit like that. Remember Floyd, like Floyd went and got Alex Ariza from Pacquiao. Say, hey, Alex, I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you guys a story that James Ali Bashir told me one time. Funny as shit. He said he was training Lennox Lewis to fight Mike Tyson, Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart told him to hire some dude as a sparring partner, pay him $5,000 a week. And Lennox was like, no, I don't. What am I paying this dude $5,000 a week? He's tall like me. He fights like me. He's not preparing me for Mike. And Emmanuel Stewart said, you bring him and pay him to keep Mike from paying him and taking him to camp to prepare him for you. And those are the kind of mind games you play.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the kind of mind games you play.
This is what I want to say about
Floyd would do that. Floyd would suck up all the good fighters and make them sparring partners, so you wouldn't have none. Floyd would do shit like that sometimes.
Go ahead, Evan.
Bro, I was about to say, yeah, and listen, and when you go to fight Floyd, right, none of them niggas from Michigan won't spar you. That's why they would go to Brother Nazem and get Philly fighters, because that was the closest thing that you would get in terms of defensive posture, so on and so forth. So Mike Sharp and Dynamite and all of those guys, they made a lot of money like that. And what I was going to say, Julius, was like I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that's boxing. It's not fear, it's mind games. If I know you and your head coach, who's been your head coach for the last 6 years, are disgruntled, and I can get that man over here, he might not even be over here coaching. We might ask him, yo, what's suspect about him? What's the worst thing about him? What's the best thing about him? Okay, but more importantly, you're worried about it. See, if Kovalev had to worry about John David Jackson being over there with Ward every day, that's going to mess with you. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so, you know what I mean? I'm in your head. You know what I'm saying? I know that Pacquiao was looking like, well, damn, he got a reason over there. What is he telling me?
See,
was the reason even watching me like that?
Look, I feel that. But at the same time, it's not one way. That fight was too close for comfort.
That fight was extremely
no, it was a
close.
close
I agree
fight
with
for
you.
sure.
It's too close for comfort.
No,
and you no, hold on now. I'm gonna ask you a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
With your boxing mind, you tell me, how does Ward win the rematch? How?
Well, to me, honestly, when you look at what he started to do as the fight, like towards the end, you basically pick up where you left off. It's the 13th round. What you have to understand about Kovalev is you can't jump up in his chest early, and I think that's what happened to Ward. I think that Ward, he's always been like the guy that like they thought they was going to overpower, but they couldn't. But this time you moved up in weight, and you're fighting a guy that he's really bigger than you. This ain't Kessler and Frach, where they were bigger than you and they thought that they could dominate you, but you could make it be a whole nother type of situation. You can't do that with this guy. And Ward got hit trying to get up in his chest. He shouldn't even been trying to get up in his chest yet. Kovalev wasn't ready for that. You understand what I'm saying?
Dawood, here's the thing that a lot of people don't want to mention. Ward made a mistake with the two guys he fought before he fought Kovalev. He should have fought Chilemba.
Sullivan was fine. Sullivan was fine.
But Sullivan was fine, but Brand. He should have fought Chilemba. Yeah, he should have fought Chilemba, Isaac Chilemba, somebody like that. Because what it is Ward approached the fight with Kovalev like he was somebody like he do at 168, and his legs wasn't there for him to do what he could do at 168 at 175. His legs wasn't there. Okay, and that was the key fact, because when Ward used to get up in you at 168, he was quick. He could get up in you real fast. Right. He can do that here at 175 because his legs isn't there. And even though Sullivan Barrera was a good opponent, but he still don't prepare you for Kovalev from the way Kovalev imposed his will on you physically.
And he's fast.
Yeah, right. That's why I say so. He should have fought like a Chilemba, somebody that's gonna come at you and rough. That's what he needed. He needed like Kovalev fought Chilemba and he was sick, but that really prepared him more for Ward than Brand prepared for Ward for Kovalev.
Yeah, and that was the problem, and that's why Julius, I remember us being very critical of that fight, because remember that fight that he got with Brand was rejected about 7 months before he got that, because remember it was just such a bad quality opponent that they just wouldn't.
That was Murdoch.
Well, no, Alexander Brand as well. There was two fighters that they did.
They did both of them. You're right. They sure did.
There was somebody else too, but he couldn't even get no opponent.
Right. It was Murdoch and it was also Brand. But
and it was forgiven because they wanted Nathan Cleverly. They couldn't get
Cleverly. And it was somebody else he was supposed to fight.
And Cleverly would have been good to prepare him for Kovalev better. That's why I say, if you watch how Kovalev fought Chilemba, he wasn't being sick. He struggled because Chilemba was giving him a Ward type of like fight. So Kovalev had already seen it. He was ready for it when he actually faced Ward. Versus when Ward fought Brand, Ward was just trying things with Brand because Brand wouldn't come at him. Brand wasn't being rugged with him.
And that's got to be a major factor with this rematch, though, is now that Kovalev has the advantage of seeing that now.
People never thought about this fight the right way. Look at the styles. Look at Ward's style. Ward is great on the inside, but he's a smaller man moving up in weight, and you want to play this big motherfucker close to the chest. This guy that drops people with jabs. You know what I'm saying? Remember the Pascal rematch? He dropped him with a jab. Yeah. With a jab.
Dude, and let's not forget how Ward was reacting when that jab was pumping.
Right.
And there was a few times it just knocked him just completely off his feet.
Oh yeah. But see, that's why everybody don't want to give him credit. I get mad because I said, wait a minute, dog. At no point in time did Andre Ward do what Bernard did, which is retreat. He said, listen, whatever it is, I just got to keep grinding with this cat. I got to just keep fucking grinding.
Yeah, and that's what makes
what it was.
Go ahead, Eben.
Sometimes you have a fight where you have to go all the way back to the beginning. When Ward boxed Kovalev, he has to start low and come high. Like, he has to go back to the shit that they was teaching him when he was 12, 13, and 14, 11 years old. He has to, because he can't approach him over the top. Right. His arms ain't long enough. Kovalev's a little bit quick. but Kovalev don't really throw hooks and uppercuts like that.
But Eben,
he's more so down the barrel.
But Eben, I'm gonna say,
you know what I'm saying? And when
I'm gonna say something nobody wants to say though. I'm gonna say something nobody wants to say. Andre Ward is not the strongest. He's not the quickest. He's not the fastest. The only one thing Andre Ward has always had is his mind.
Yeah,
and on that night, I think Andre Ward underestimated Kovalev's ring.
Yes, he did.
Absolutely,
yes, he did.
absolutely. And so did the rest. I mean, so did everybody else. Because I mean, even I was giving him a better chance, but I didn't realize just how good of a ring general he was.
Look, I defy any of you. I defy any of you to go to YouTube, go to oldest to newest on the settings under the relay, and I've been saying this shit throughout that I'm worried for Andre Ward. If you didn't, if there's a lot of guys out there that act like Sergey is just some one-dimensional piece of shit. I'm like, I don't know why you guys think that. You must not see this guy fight after the Pascal fight.
Yeah, you don't get to that position just being one-dimensional like.
No,
fight.
he can, no.
But here's the thing. Here's my worry when it comes to Andre Ward with this fight, and even it was before the case, is that, like we mentioned, his game plan is to rough you up on the inside with if you're just the typical opponent. He can't do that here. That obviously, gave him problems. He ran into something crazy in that second round. But like I've mentioned before on, he doesn't box well going on the back foot either.
Yep.
So he has to find that thin line. And it's really thin because it's like he has to fight mid-range all the time
and
to be effective.
That's Kovalev's sweet spot.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's still the danger zone. So I mean, that's why it just makes it hard for me.
Everything's going to depend on how Kovalev comes into this fight. If he comes in trying to run over Andre Ward, it could open things up for it to be more of an inside fight.
And that's essentially what I was trying to get at when it came to this John David Jackson thing is, is he maybe trying to, I mean, Kovalev, I feel like is already pissed the fuck. I mean, I feel like he just wants to mangle Andre Ward and go in there and just fuck him up.
He do.
And I feel like if that's what he's trying to do, is basically to create a bull matador type of fight, then maybe I could see that going down. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to work.
Listen, with Andre Ward's style, that bull matador situation is still a tough out.
Yeah.
Andre Ward on the back foot is regular. He's basic. That's not his bread and butter. His bread and butter is close to the chest. You want to be close to this guy's chest? We see what happened the first time you tried to do that. You're not going to suddenly become a different fighter. They may even have an answer now for the stab to the body.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that too. That experimental jab to the body. I'm sure they got to have that in the back of mind or a game plan for that as well.
Understand what I'm saying. Even if when you get a plan for the jab to the body, that creates the guessing game, and the guessing game is where smart boxers prevail. I coach every day. And I watch kids sometimes be boxing somebody that's giving them the hardest time in the world. But once they create a down bottom flow, and the down bottom flow is corresponding with the up top flow, Kovalev is guessing. And he's still mad. You know what I'm saying? What I saw as the fight progressed was when Ward approached the fight from here and then lift up, he did very well. You know what I'm saying? He just can't go back and forth with him in terms of his length, but they're stepping to the side. You know what I'm saying? It's all types of stuff. And I saw Ward making the adjustments. I saw him making the adjustments and making it happen. It's not like I'm just saying some shit. And it's like
let me ask you this, Evan. Evan, let me ask you this. We saw a video what Kovalev was doing, the way he's making improvements at. Do you think Andre Ward is capable of making the same improvement because it was such a hard fight and it's not one particular thing he does great. He just does it good.
I don't make excuses, but I heard Virgil Hunter say on several occasions that they didn't even do road work for that fight. Really, they didn't really get to hit the road, and he was like, for this fight, we would be able to run. When you bring up Ward's legs in that fight, when you bring up the fact that he wasn't able to get up in Kovalev as quickly as even I assumed, you know what I'm saying? I believe that has something to do with it as well. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that he's going to be more prepared. And I believe that even though everybody looks at it, they say Kovalev has to make these adjustments, Ward know that he got a whole bunch of adjustments to make. This ain't no game. He know he's gonna have to be leaning.
See, and that's what makes it hard for me though. Is like Kovalev knows the adjustments to what at least what made him lacking in the last fight. So what does really Ward figure out from that point that he has to capitalize, because he already won, but he still eked it out.
This is one of the biggest problems that Ward faced in that fight, that there was not and it was shocking, but one of the biggest problems is there was not a difference in speed in their hands. Kovalev was very much able to keep up, where people thought that he could pepper him, and get his and make an exit strategy. It wasn't like that. You were always in a danger zone. He was always in a danger zone. There's not a difference in hand speed. You're not physically stronger. You're not faster on your feet than this guy. And that's a problem, because what it's going to come down to is who hits harder than, and that's Kovalev. Very easily.
Well, see, for me, it's a matter of, like, Ward's never had rematches, so I don't know if he does anything different when he fights you a second time. Kovalev has had rematches, and I've seen how Kovalev will show you something different in a second fight.
Yes, he will.
And that could be the deciding factor who's going to win.
And do we not believe that Andre Ward?
Can we say this shit? I'm going to say this shit if y'all not. I don't know if Andre Ward is going to win this fight. All right?
Look, I would have been the first one to say that shit. I didn't think he was going to be the first one.
Everybody keeps acting like, it's not possible that Andre Ward. Yes,
no, it's possible, man. Because I closed that. Listen, you know what? I put it to you like this. My theory is, this time if Kovalev knock him down, he going to finish him.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if Kovalev knock him down, he going to finish him.
Yeah.
Why does Sergey Kovalev right now look lighter? What's he trying to do? If he tries if he tries to up the punch output, that means he's trying to run this guy over. What's Ward's response to that? You're an inside fighter. You're not gonna fight him at long range.
But the thing is, to steamroll me, you gotta come to me. And the first fight, Kovalev played his length. When you come to steamroll, you're gonna give me some of that. You're gonna give some of that back.
Hey, but then again, he's very average when he's on the back foot. So that's essentially what you're saying, is telling him to be his least effective. I don't know how he does it.
This dude ain't lost a fight. Listen, this is what I'm saying. As much as y'all keep on talking about the good stuff that Kovalev is doing to add to his game, just because y'all not seeing Ward, do y'all really believe that nothing's being added?
No.
You're not doubting that, Eddie.
That Ward, look, Keith Thurman has 3-4 different ways to win a fight. Yeah. Terrence Crawford has 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways to win a fight. Lomachenko as well. Rigondeaux as well. All of them. Ward's sweet spot is in the danger zone. So he's all of a sudden, one fight later, going to have a different sweet spot?
Why would you assume that he can't when this is the first time that he's had to, Julius? You got to respect that.
I'm not saying that. I never said that he can't. I'm saying that it's very conceivable that he could lose this fight.
But see, it's the
it was the first time.
It was the but for me, Dawood, it's the opponent he has to do that against. The opponent he has to try to make this adjustment again is just as dangerous on that outside as he is.
And he's nowhere near. He's not going to give you the same looks as his first fight. So then that also has to be taken to, like, how that adaptation goes.
Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Andre Ward can't win this fight. He can, because like you said, I believe he's smart enough to know where he did something wrong and what he's going to have to make adjustment at going into the next fight. Like the only place we disagree is I don't think Andre Ward should go into this fight like it's the 13th round of the last fight. I think he should go in this fight like it's a whole new goddamn fight.
Yeah.
So I got to fight a whole new way.
My personal thoughts.
Yeah, okay. So all I'm saying is I agree with everybody that says because of how close that first fight was and because of the way it looked, it is conceivable that there's a good chance this rematch might not go his way.
It might not. I've said, look. I said this on the relay maybe 20 times. Yeah, it's possible it could be like Chino and Floyd 1 and 2, or it's possible it could be like Tarver and Roy. You motherfuckers got to stop sugarcoating shit. Yeah, Andre Ward is good, but I've never seen him look like that. I've never, and leading up to that fight, I was very, very concerned.
I mean, it was just strange just to see that jab over and over and over again,
and no answers for it. So, and you're going right into the rematch. And
but see, it also to me the way that by that fight being so close and so hard, it also verified why Kovalev was a top 5 pound for pound guy. And I say this all the time: when you step up the level of competition and you fight another guy, like you're going up in weight, facing another top 5 pound for pound guy, it is conceivable that you're going to struggle.
Look,
because you're not fighting no push.
Out of all the close fights we've seen this last, in 2016, we saw Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman, close fight. And we just saw Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia, close fight. This fight with Ward and Sergey was dick hair close, hair follicle close. Like, it was too close for comfort.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. Yo, I like what you said first. Say the first time.
You said dick
the
hair.
Enamel from his teeth. What the fuck was it?
I'm just saying.
Got pristine permed hair. Is that what the fuck? This man. Michael Jackson pubes.
Yo, go. Back to the point.
Please.
The fight is too close, dog. And you're talking about getting right back into it. And this guy's pissed off. And you didn't have a lot of answers for him before. The only reason you won that fight was because of an improvisation. And a lot of people, I'm not going to say most because I don't have a number, but a lot of people had you losing that fight.
That improvisation comes from skill. That's an adjustment. You calling it improvisation, but it's actually an adjustment.
Well, I mean, calling it an improvisation is not an insult. The fact
what it was just a moment of, fuck, I'm doing everything I can. What is going to work? Let's try this jab to the body. That's not to say he ain't mean it. That's just saying that he had a resort to, he was searching to a point on what the hell it would take to survive.
Every fight, listen, great fighters.
You have to get all the tricks out the bag.
All great, listen. Great. That's what you have to do when a great fighter is fighting another great fighter. This is the question. This is the thing that nobody said, right? You looking at Kovalev getting better shape. You looking at him and he's faster and he's more lean, right? But here's the thing. In that fight, he dominated in the beginning. By the end, he was no longer dominating. Andre Ward made adjustments. Where was the counter adjustment? So if you didn't have one in the fight, right? Am I to assume that you have one for the next fight?
No, well, wait a minute, because the first fight, I disagree with that. It's not to say that he just completely deteriorated. He came back in the 10th round. He was still there. That's why it was so hard to even make a judgment on the fight, is because he was there. It was just turned down.
And I agree, and I give him full 100% credit. But what I'm saying is, from a technical standpoint, the approach did not change. It slowed down and it picked back up. So what I'm saying is, you have one fighter who approach had to change, and he changed it, and he was able to get through it and get a W, right? The other fighter was able to give that fighter hell. He gave him hell, right? And he damn near, I thought he could have stopped him earlier if he would have tried to kill him, but he didn't try to kill him.
And now you add adjustments to it.
Trying to kill him? But what stopped you from trying to kill him?
Well, and I know what you're getting at.
You kill everybody else.
His reluctance.
You kill everybody else.
Well, that's we talked about this. We talked about it.
Listen,
we're giving Ward way too much of a vote of confidence that this guy can't lose.
No, I'm not giving him credit.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
He could lose.
I'm not. Hell yeah, he could lose.
I'm gonna put you like this. I'm like this.
I'm about to say there's a round or two that he could have lost, and he beat BB to lose of the first fight.
And then he'd have lost that fight. I never said that. That's not.
I'm just putting it this way. I'm putting this out there. That somebody needs to say that, yes, Sergey has a better chance of winning this fight than he did. Look, the first fight, I looked at that as a maybe 55-45 to a 60-40 for Ward. This fight, I almost don't want to edge it because I don't know what's going to happen. Sergey has a barometer now. He's felt this guy's punch. He knows what he could take. He knows what he can't take.
So does Ward. So does Ward.
So does what is Ward going to be stronger now? Is he going to be faster now?
Bro.
I mean, that's what he would have needed.
Bro, after a fight like that, first of all, when you look at the fact that he was coming off fighting Brand and he was coming off of fighting Barrera, that's what raises your level.
But,
who you fighting?
But Ibn,
it raises your level.
Ibn,
he's coming off of fighting Kovalev.
But Ibn,
I'm listening.
No, he froze.
He froze.
He froze.
That's how scared he is for Ward. That's how scared he is.
Being honest, being honest, it's a 50-50, just like it was a 50-50 going in. I had my reason for picking Ward, but if you go back in the videos and in the dialogue, whatever, on the page, you'll see where I said, like, yo, Kovalev ain't sweet. Like, I know what's up. And now it's like even more. But like it's still like 50-50, and I'm gonna lean to the guy who I saw make adjustments and get the W, because I know that guy has the ability to make adjustment in the way that he's approaching this fighter. I didn't see Kovalev make no adjustments in the way that he was approaching Dre. So all I really could say is he's in better shape and he looks leaner and he looks quicker. But I didn't see him in that fight when he went from dominating to Dre making a surge to leveling back out. I didn't never see him change his approach. I went back to watching Kovalev's other fights, and I didn't see him fighting in no other manner than even what I saw him fighting Dre.
But that's because in other fights, Kovalev has never had to.
And probably, I could still see him knocking him out, just like I could have saw him knocking him out the first time.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, though, Eben. That's because Kovalev was never faced with having to do what he had to do with Ward. Now that he knows what he has to do, he's going to be more prepared. And now that Ward knows what he's up against, he's going to be more prepared. That's why it's like I'm not going to say there's nothing like Ward. Like somebody said to me, there's nothing Ward can do to make adjustments. Like, you know, if they were, okay, what kind of fan are you? Because you can't sit there and say that this motherfucker ain't going to try to do in something different that went wrong with him if you're a fighter. So I believe both is going to make adjustments. But the only thing here is, my thing is, I've seen what Kovalev does in rematches. And that's my concern. Is like, okay, I've never seen what Ward, like if Ward would have rematched Kyle Frosch and did better in the second fight, showed me different looks in the second fight, then I'd have a barometer to go off of. I can only go off of what I've seen Cove do in the rematch. Okay, now I'll still go with Ward.
Isn't he more in the rematches? Look at the first Pascal fight. Look at the second Pascal fight.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, I'll still go with Ward, because at the end of the day, like I see what you're saying. And until I see Kovalev do it differently, I'll say, okay, Ward is able to do more things, make more adjustments sooner than Kovalev, because Kovalev didn't make that many. But at the end of the day, let's not act like anybody that's saying it's a wash. Ward's will be he's not going to dominate him in the second fight, and it is conceivable he can lose the second fight because of how I'm of this mindset. If Andre Ward gets knocked down again, I believe Kovalev is going to go to finish. Because Kovalev didn't jump on him the first time he knocked him down in the second round. You know, I guess he thought, well, I'll catch him again later. And then to Ward's credit, Ward is smart. Ward didn't show Kovalev he was hurt either. He knew what to do. But if it happens this fight,
and that's apprehensiveness because it was the second round.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That was you know.
Right.
If you smart, you know, like it's the second round. I don't even know if it's flash. I don't know if he really messed up. I don't know. I'm gonna keep boxing.
Right. But this time if he knocks him down,
no,
see, like that's one mistake I thought Kovalev did was he should have put his weight on Andre Ward. Sometimes you got to bully the bully. He didn't try to push Ward around or jump on him and get grimy with Ward like Ward was trying to get with him. Sometimes you got to do that, man. Sometimes you got to bully the bully and see what happens.
Hey, I'm back.
George, you was gone? We didn't even know.
The power went out.
My fucking power went out. Dude.
Yeah.
But the power in your house or the power in your laptop?
The whole power went out, dude. Everything. It went pitch black.
Oh,
is it back?
Yeah, yeah. It's back.
I ain't gonna tell people where you live, but that happens a lot over there, man. That happens a lot over here.
You know, and that's why, you know, I eventually got to get to where the best internet connection is, which is England. So, you know.
England?
Yeah, I hear they got really good internet there.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, George.
Sheffield agent.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. You know what I mean. Not really. Maybe. Kind of. Nah. But listen, where did I leave off at? I forgot what I was fucking talking about. Oh, yeah. Look, so basically what I was getting at before my fucking power went out was Eben, we were talking about, what was like your main concern after that fight was, I think Ward is too small for the division. and you
remember,
were worried about
that's a
him
lot.
fighting anybody else.
Right.
So I mean, again, I
Right.
don't see that's also, you know, another factor with this. You know
No,
what I mean?
I never fronted. I never fronted. When I looked at it, I said, "Yo, Kovalev, like for real, Stevenson and them, they bigger and
Oh yeah,
stronger.
Stevenson's way bigger. Jesus
They
Christ.
right. They like. So I'm like, yo, I'm like, my problem was that every time that Kovalev connected, like especially early when he was early, like towards the end, it was getting like, okay, they fighting now. But like early, every time he hit him, I was like, oh shit. Like Kovalev seemed like he just did.
It was just crazy to see how that jab just instantly offset him every time. Like you literally have to see like Ward rethinking every time he got hit with it.
What's next, man?
Stevenson, Fanfara, and Pascal versus Alvarez goes down this weekend.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give you what I'm gonna say about Stevenson Fanfara. Take my Carl Kaepernick approach.
Take a knee.
I refuse to talk about this bullshit ass nigga on the count, and he refused to fight somebody and show us he's the motherfucking WBC champion. So until this bitch ass coward chicken shit ass dick sucking motherfucker fight somebody, I will not talk about him. There you go.
Let's talk
I'm
about
done.
Alvarez Pascal.
Alvarez Pascal. That's what you guys want to get into. Well, you know, and Pascal is really no one to write home about. He's kind of been, I mean, he's become a gatekeeper now.
His last 6 is chopped cheese, all right? His last 6 is taco meat. Okay? Last 6 is taco meat.
He like a blown up 168.
He is.
This dude said chopped cheese, man. This dude said chopped cheese.
Talk about.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. I know what we have to talk about because I said if we had time, we would get to it. And now look at that. We got about 15 minutes we can work with. So I'm not calling anybody out in particular. I'm just hitting a segment of fans that I noticed this past weekend, and it's not even just this past weekend. It's almost every time that they get a chance to. There was ridiculous posts out there that were saying, you know, with the result of Errol Spence and Kell Brook, that this was going to be Wilder against AJ, or whoever type of comparison, UK versus USA, and it's going to be the same thing. And I knew it. I knew people were going to go out of hand with it. Ibn, you partook in one of them, so of course it's going to seem like I'm coming at you directly, but it was, you know, others as well. And I was just that mess just got to like chill. Like, no. First of all, Errol Spence is way better than what Wilder could even fathom to be as far as skills go. All right, so that doesn't even apply. If anything, AJ is more of the Errol Spence type.
You missing the point of that whole. You missing the point.
All right, okay. Well, go ahead. You can explain yourself. Go ahead.
That's not what the comparison is. This is the whole thing. At the end of the day, no matter how you feel about the Wilder and the AJ situation, they just need to fight, and that's just how real it is. If you think Wilder ain't good enough, if you think AJ is way better, whatever. But at the end of the day, they need to fight. What the Wilder and the Spence comparison was about, in terms of, it was just, that's just national, that's just fans and fan pride. Because my personal opinion is that American fans should be pushing for them to fight. You should be pushing for that. Even if you don't like Wilder, like, you should want him knocked off. You should be pushing for him to fight AJ. That's what you should be pushing for. So at the end of the day, no matter whose side you want, this talk, it needs to go on. And then the UK, they like to scream about all they champions and all that. What did they have? Like 11 world champions?
They had 13 last year.
They like to scream that. So when we fight one of them, that's a direct.
Because at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is one fucking heavyweight in a division that has a lot of guys for Wilder to fight. And motherfuckers is acting like it's all about AJ. I'm not saying Wilder don't want them fights. I think he does. But at the end of the day, that's a guy that's booked. He's booked. And it hasn't, it really, from the time he started calling them out, it hasn't changed. that when you're free, he's booked, and when he's booked, you're free, and it just goes on like this.
And this is what I know.
I mean, shit, it was like that with Povetkin for a full fucking year.
I'm not even accusing no ducking though. I'm not accusing no ducking.
Well, you know, to the Steve McCarthy's out there, apparently AJ is ducking and not signing the imaginary contract that I had no idea fucking existed.
I'm not saying that.
We will not mention motherfuckers that we know sometimes can be biased and make unsensed comments. I'm the referee in this shit.
Yeah,
we're not mentioning that. We're going to stick to us right here.
At the end of the day.
All right, I'm not going to mention nobody. I'm just saying there's other people out there that can get Wilder the kind of backing that he needs from the fans. There's other guys out there to fight. I mean, if I'm Wilder and I really want this guy, see shit, yo, you want your mandatory out the way? I'll get him out the way. Bring me Pulev. Bring him to me. I'm going to fuck him up so I can get to you. That's what Ward did with Kovalev. Think about it. He fought his IBF mandatory. Kovalev didn't have that problem. He didn't have to worry about that guy.
Yeah, he fought Sully.
Ward got him away. He fought Sully. So if I'm Wilder and I really want AJ, I really want that fight. This guy's got 2 mandatories. Let me get one of them. Let me get one of those guys out the way for you. Bring me Pulev. Bring me Ortiz.
After he gets rid of Stavern, though, he's got to fight Stavern. Stavern wouldn't take the step aside.
That's what I was about to say. I just was letting you finish.
Listen to me. All right, let me finish. The WBC hasn't ordered that yet. It's not like there's not a date. They haven't said, all right, you guys got to reach an agreement by X date.
He got to fight him next already, though, Julius. He got to fight him next. Stavern already told you that Wilder tried to give him step aside.
But that's why it's always the better. That's why I was never under the idea this fight was going to happen next.
Yeah, he got to fight him
I've
next.
always had it in mind that this would happen like toward the end of the year.
Julius, I don't even want to see the Stavern fight, and I'm half Haitian. You know I'm Haitian. I don't even want to see that shit. I'm just saying he got to fight him next. After that, I don't know.
After that, he should fight Luis Ortiz, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I want to see him fight Ortiz too.
He should fight Luis Ortiz after that.
Ortiz or Pulev, they both earned their shots a long time ago. Pulev been in line for a long time. Ortiz been in line for a long time when it comes to Joshua. If you want that guy, you got to get those guys out of his way. So get one of those guys out of his way.
We got to see how.
And look good doing it. Don't just get him out of the way.
But
yeah, build a thirst for the fight. You know, I mean, get some good performances underway. Stop looking fucking lackluster.
This is my only problem, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to see Wilder fight Ortiz. I really do. I would like to see him fight Pulev. I don't really care about Pulev. I just know he there. Whatever. I'm being honest because I'm gonna be real. I don't even care. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying I don't want Wilder to fight better people. I'm saying this. I hate when people start bringing that up like, oh, he has to do this and he has to do that. That is the most bullshit in the world. When they schedules is free, after this dude fights a fucking mandatory, after this other dude fights this fucking Stavern because WBC and Don King post some bullshit, they need to be seeing what's up. And if they can't fight right then and there, we need to see something. AJ and them will not even mention Wilder's fucking name, man. That shit is not cool. Y'all acting like y'all don't see that shit.
Nah, he definitely did. I mean, just because you didn't hear him mention it the last fight, I mean, they do have plans.
Yo, man.
Him and Eddie Hearn mentioned it right after the damn fight with
Max Kellerman had to back that man in the corner to get that man to say the words Deontay Wilder, bro.
That was the last fight. You're going off the very last interview. They've spoken on him before.
Ibn, I gotta stop you because this is one thing that you're doing that I notice a lot of other folks is doing too. They acting like Wilder is the big fish, better than Joseph Parker. He didn't mention Parker either. Do you realize that? He's no better than him.
Yeah, but you want to fight Tyson Fury, somebody that don't even got a fucking boxing license, bro.
Hold on, wait a minute, Evan, that's because Tyson Fury is a big fight over. UK people still feel like Tyson Fury is the champion, though. And if he fights Tyson Fury, it will legitimize him as being the champion.
I'm actually a Fury fan. I'm not ignoring him. Go ahead.
Ibn, what if I told you that Tyson Fury is a bigger scalp than Deontay Wilder or Joseph Parker?
I didn't say.
What if I told you that?
I'm not saying that I'm ignoring who Fury is on the landscape at all. I'm not saying that. And I understand UK fan support and the money. Come on, man. We do this shit every day. What I'm saying is that dude don't even got a license right now. And he's like 100 pounds away from even being at a weight where he would probably be like operating for a fight.
I know. Look, I'm under the same idea too, but there's still people with this belief that you got to beat them.
No, but listen, but hold on, but let's keep it real. This is shit that you talk about you pushing for. But the other two dudes right there, you could get unification with one of them. One of them is anxious for unification. Tyson Fury, that fight's going to be there if you beat Wilder, right?
Yeah, but Evan, before he gets, but here's the thing: before he gets to Wilder, you got Vladimir Klitschko that just may invoke his rematch. If he invoke his rematch, you got to please one of the. He got to pray to God the IBF don't strip him. Okay, then after he fights Klitschko, you got Luis Ortiz with the WBA saying, hey, either I'm getting mine or I'm going to sue. So there are 2 or 3 fights that right now Joshua could be tied up in. So, like,
look at those names, or you look at those 2 names, right? And that's what I keep on saying. And everybody be like, well, who do Wilder be fighting? Who do Wilder be fighting? So who Wilder going to fight?
But wait a minute. He fights the Verb. Wilder can take Ortiz. Wilder can say, hey, look, you know what? Give me Ortiz. I'll take Ortiz off your hand, because if Wilder fights Ortiz, knocks Ortiz out, right? Okay, now the question about he ain't fought, his quality and all about his resume, that goes away, because guess what? You fought a guy that everybody feels is a good dude in the heavyweight division, right? That in the heavyweight division can cause some beef, can cause a rift in a big fight.
Let's put it this way: supposing everything that Bo just said happens, Deontay Wilder says, you know what? I want this guy. I'm going to go after Luis Ortiz. He goes after the guy that nobody wants to fight. He wipes his ass with that guy. He just knocks him out. What bigger statement is there than that? They're like, yo, I'm after you, dog. I'm after you.
Yeah, man. I mean, even essentially like the, Pacquiao and Mayweather leftovers when they were fighting each other's, ex-opponents. It's a way to build toward the fight. It shows initiative that this is like, hey, look, I'm gonna fight a guy that you wouldn't fight, or the guy that you fought, and I'll look better than. It's basically
that already,
statements to go out there.
Wait, that's the issue though, George. We've already seen that, man. We saw
they have to come in. They have to come.
Those guys
don't start this shit with me, Julius.
Look, man, there are no layers to Eric Molina.
Don't start.
No, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
No, I'm good.
I'm not getting into that. That's not what I'm saying.
No, go ahead, Evan.
No, I'm not getting into that. This is what I'm saying, right? Even when we say all this stuff about Wilder and who he's fighting, right? I hope that these guys want to fight him, because it's been so many people who this guy, and they name this guy, and dude like Glasgow. Dudes was supposed to have been there for him to fight, go the opposite way, and then we still like,
fuck him.
You talking about Warzik? You talking about Warzik? Look,
Warzik. I said no. Warzik did drugs. Glasgow went away and fought fucking Park.
Charles Martin. Glasgow fought Charles Martin.
You understand what I'm saying? But my point is, just like we like, all right, well, who's the Wilder fight? Okay, AJ, he can't fight AJ, but like Parker, what the fuck are you doing? And like Wilder calling you out too. Don't get
it twisted, because I got it coming for Parker depending on who he decides to fight next.
Yes,
don't
exactly.
get it twisted.
And they're not the only ones. The only person I feel like that I even think want to fight fucking Wilder, honestly, is Ortiz. I swear to God, I ain't gonna lie about that.
No, I disagree. Listen, I think Anthony Joshua will fight him, but the thing, what you also have to.
No, I wasn't talking about AJ on that, Bo. Go ahead. I wasn't talking about AJ on that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about,
look,
because AJ's busy. AJ's busy. The rest of these cats out here, they don't be wanting to fight Wilder. Like, people don't be saying that. Even like Walad didn't even never give Wilder a chance. Like, they don't want to fight him.
Because you saying that people don't want to fight Wilder, that's a foregone conclusion. I can only think of one person that I could say wholeheartedly does not want to fight Wilder, and that is Tyson Fury. Because Wilder been called him out a long time ago. He didn't want it then. He don't want it now. He'd rather cash out to AJ. If you're going to fucking lose, I'd rather lose to AJ. I'm going to get paid more money.
But
That's
see,
the only
that's
guy.
and see, this is the conundrum that Wilder is in, because
He's not worth the loss. It doesn't
and
pay off.
that's why
And they won't, and it's always been that way.
Joseph Parker could say, "Hey, I can make a lot of money fighting Joshua
Before I lose to you.
Yeah, and I lose to you before I lose to you.
Before I lose to you.
And that's
again, hold on, because that's a foregone conclusion. When nobody was talking about fighting Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker was. Y'all better go back. Don't believe me? Go back. He was talking about fighting him. Now, this whole Huey Fury shit, we're going to see what he decided to do, because for whatever reason, Huey Fury is still the mandatory. I don't know why. I don't understand that. Thank Frank Warren for that shit and the WBO. Because I don't understand that shit. Like, he pulled out of the fight. He ended up having to fight somebody else. Shouldn't that satisfy the mandatory right there?
Exactly.
Whatever. But you have Joseph Parker right now has a chance to unify if he does the paperwork. So if you don't do the paperwork, then you duck it. You duck it because he called you out. He already called you out. You know he want to fight you. If you choose to fight Huey Fury instead, okay, that's a duck, because you had the WBO ain't gonna strip you, man. They ain't gonna take your belt. Fight Wilder. If you don't fight him now, that's a duck. Well, it's a safer fight for you to fight Huey Fury than it is for you to try to unify with Wilder. You know that. You know that. So if Joseph, before it was different. You know, it was different. Like, okay, Huey Fury pulled out, short notice, doesn't want to lose the venue. The legwork's been put in. I understand. Like, he can't fight him now. It's too late for that. Fury put him in a fucked up situation by pulling out of the fight. And there were rumors that he was trying to pull out of the fight weeks beforehand.
Whatever. I mean, it was a foot injury, then it was cocaine, then you're depressed.
No.
No, he told Hugo Fury.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about.
I call him Huggy. I call the nigga Huggy Fury.
Oh, Pimpleback.
Pimpleback. Pimpleback didn't want that fight. That's the story going around. He was trying to pull
out
of
that fight. And what fucked up was this motherfucker supposedly got medically cleared, but they had a medical reason why he couldn't fight.
Exactly, and that's why I find it bizarre that this guy's still the mandatory. Like, how are you still the mandatory? Like, I don't understand that. Whatever. Thank Frank Warren. We know he got juice with them. Yeah. The point of the shit is, all right, now you have an opportunity to fight another champion. That champion is Deontay Wilder. If you choose not to fight him now, to fight Huey Fury, okay, that's a duck, because he's been calling you and everybody else out. You got the chance to fight him now. If you don't fight him now, all right, you're ducking him then. You're ducking him. It's simple. But before, when people were saying that shit, oh, Joseph Parker doesn't want to fight Wilder, dog. Joseph Parker was one of the only guys that was talking about fighting Wilder not that long ago. So I'm not going to jump to that conclusion as easily as other people are. He was the only guy I seen really like, yeah, I'll fight Wilder. I don't care. Maybe Duco Events didn't want him to fight him. Maybe they don't. But Joseph Parker himself, I saw him. I seen like he doesn't mind the idea of it. Why not? But it's different now. Because if you're going to... Now, AJ is, you know, he's the A side. He had the big 10 million in Germany, in fucking UK. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose to that guy.
Yeah. Get some profit off of it.
The question is, if it ever came down to, okay, well, you got a choice in front of you. You could fight Wilder or you could fight Joshua. You're in as much danger with Joshua as you are with Wilder. If you chose Joshua over Wilder, I wouldn't consider that a duck. But if
right, because you'll get paid though. You'll get more paid. That's just business. Yeah. You'll get more paid if you fight Anthony Joshua. That's just business.
If you're in the same danger. Joshua could knock you out just as easily as Wilder can. But if you choose Huey Fury over Wilder, oh, that's a fucking dub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a fucking dub. You don't want to unify? What the fuck are you doing fighting Huey Fury for?
Well, I mean,
it'll be even worse if he fights him and he pulls out again.
Like I mean, then there's no hiding from that. Then you still having fucked up issues. Then I mean, it's clear. Ain't no, was that hand wraps you got there? New pack of hand wraps?
Ooh, stitch the red.
Are those the war?
Yeah,
he got the war right there.
Yeah, he got the war Jones.
Hey, Julius, as a coach, this right here, this is double ply, man. Like, look, it just come like, look, you see how it's like individual. Ooh, you see that, George?
Yeah.
Hey, George, you know what I'm talking about.
Yo,
George.
that's like currency at a gym, bro.
You know what I'm talking about,
That's
George.
like smokes in a jail. Real
Yo,
shit,
bro.
man. But anyway, I guess it's time to wrap things up. But my final thoughts, just on, just when it came to nationalism, from both segment of fans, and Bo, that Terry on your guest was a guest on your show, and he really enlightened me when it came to that with a perspective of a UK fans, what they and I did notice that at least after last night, even when it came to the fight after when Klitschko had lost, is that they will root for their guy, but they're not just diluted that, oh yeah, he's gonna win. Just they know they're gonna root for their guy, but they can respect a guy with talent that's coming over there, or a guy who's he's no pushover. So like they gave Errol Spence a round of applause after he was able to really made Kell Brook go to a knee. They applauded Klitschko, for in the effort that he went out. So and I guess that was a good perspective to look at it, so it doesn't seem so diluted. So when you hear fans go as crazy as they do for a fighter, I think us Americans kind of just have a nice go at them, just because we feel like they're just like, oh, there's no way you possibly think that you're obviously just riding around. And some will actually tell you, like Lewis, he's definitely one of the more humble guys. Will own up to his shit. Like he's like, look, I was going for Brook, and I did say some wild shit, but and in the end, I had an idea. Just like me when it came to the.
You can't get mad at the UK guys for that.
No, you can't. But you know what? Lewis,
talk some good shit. I love it.
Lewis, Patrick, Big Meech,
Shane.
Couple other cats. Who?
Shane.
Yeah, Shane.
Shane.
Them motherfuckers was on the wire after that goddamn fight, taking a humble fucking pie. I give them niggas mad respect for that. I give them mad fucking respect for that.
Yeah, and to
Malachi too. Malachi been.
Oh yeah, him too.
Yeah. Malachi was too. Matter of fact, fucking Malachi tagged me and said, "All right, bro, I'm right here."
Pat.
He's a Brook fan though.
I say Patrick tagged me.
Yeah.
But just to round up the point, so when we have like American fans that are pushing for a nationalist coalition, as like you should be going for him because he's an American. Like, why are you going for the Russian, Kazakh, or Filipino or whatever? And Bo, we talked. I feel like this is about the third time we're repeating this. It's just that America is just, or the United States, should I say, is just too vast. There's too many subcultures within this country alone. Like we can't even agree on things that are good for our own people.
Dude, look at our podcast.
A fighter.
Look at our podcast. You got one guy from Haitian, you got one half black, half Cuban, you got a white dude in yourself, and you got a wannabe in Julian. Look at our fucking podcast, man. Look at Julian. Look at fucking Julian.
I should fucking boot you off this damn podcast right now.
Cubans, I'll tell you that hot shit.
Hey, you know what, Julian? I can't even argue with you about that.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm surprised Bo can even travel anywhere. They didn't leave his passport somewhere else.
I can't even argue with you about that one, Julian. You're so right.
He's got to make sure he even has his facilities together before he travels, like Rigondeaux.
Hey man.
Yeah, Bo gotta be careful hanging with Rigondeaux.
I'm about to say, hey man, y'all tripping.
Your pass, you be hanging with
hey, y'all tripping, but I'm gonna tell y'all a little story when we get off about immigration, man. They was not believing my shit, man.
No, I'm sure.
Hey, Bo, listen, Bo. I seen they work firsthand in my face. Yeah,
they was not believing my shit. Them up, no, motherfucker, you not American. They was not believing my shit. No.
Anyway, that's for the after pod discussion. So with that being said, let's close things out, fellas. Starting with Ibn, since you were the first to join us, Julius, then Bo.
Hey man, listen, I want to give a shout out to my man Jose Suleiman. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm taking the kids, the boxing team, right? We going down to down DC next week on the 10th, June 10th. So we getting ready for that. And this gonna be for a belt. So wish my son some luck. Check us out, 22bay_boxing on Instagram. Check me out in Ring IQ. Ibn Daoud Al Rasul, you know what I mean? Pop before I pop you in the back of your skull. And you already know. And shout out to the page, man. And shout out to Kell Brook, yo. I give him a lot of flack, but like he showed me something. You know what I mean? And I'm still going. He did used to be cherry picking. I don't take that back. but he showed me something, and I got a newfound respect for him. And shout out to EJ too for bringing that strap back.
Mm-hmm.
Man down.
Julius.
Oh, well, shout out to the page. Shout out to the Truth and Facts About Boxing. Shout out to Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. Shout out to Heather Hardy, who I spoke to earlier on Instagram. She about to have an MMA fight. Wish her good luck.
Great.
She actually gonna do both. She gonna box and she gonna be in MMA. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And just shout out to fucking boxing as a whole, because it's getting better. It's getting way better than it's been. So shout out to boxing as a sport.
Absolutely. Oh.
Man, look, shout out to everybody on here, 22 Bay, Hands of Fire Podcast, the relay, and shout out to Julius. Motherfucker got over 1,000 subs, man. So shout out to Ju for having over 1,000 subs. And shout out to him with this fucking fairy ass nickname this nigga came up with. But I give him props for that. I give him props for that.
I'm Julius Sugar Fox, man.
Oh, man.
There's one particular member I was surprised that came out just embracing that shit. I ain't gonna put their name out there.
It was weird. It got a little weird.
I'm like, what the having a moment on this damn post right now?
Shout out to all our
yeah, he knows. He already knows what I'm talking about.
Shout out to all our admins that drop hot shit, keep shit popping on the page. The shit be lit. Shout out to my boys at the movement, 2K to God, the Gods of Boxing Talk, Twan, Big Cool, and my partner Bernard. Shout out to women's boxing, man, who's making some moves and everybody following it, man. And just shout out to anybody in boxing that's on their time doing their thing, pound for pound, guard your grill. All them guys that's making shit lit. And hey, man, like he said, boxing's in a good place. We just had a fight with Errol Spence where he showed us you don't have to be malice. You don't have to be going Twitter rants. You don't have to have Twitter fingers. You don't have to have a comic show and all that old bullshit to make a fight, make people want to watch your fight. All you got to do is fight quality guys, show up, kick ass, and people going to come check you out. So shout out for that, man.
Good shit. Of course, guys, you know where to find me. You're obviously watching the page that you should be subscribed to right now, Georgie Dampier. You can find me on Facebook, G.Alé Dampier, G.Alé 6 on Instagram, at Georgie Dampier on Twitter. Big shout out to USA and UK boxing fans, period, man. I mean, we had a ball just of all the back and forth, the banter, the insults, the historical relations and just random ass comparisons, unneeded shit, like Winston Churchill and FDR I mean, it just got so wild. I mean, it was coffee versus tea. I mean, there's all types of shit, man. So, and it was fun, man. I loved it. Every second of it. I had a ball. Shout out to, the UK guys who took a nice hefty slice of humble pie. Lewis, Shane, Big Meech. I mean, you guys are actually just traders. I get called a trader. That's because, I play on the border. But who else? Chris, who, was one of the few UK guys that actually thought that actually picked Spence.
Yeah,
Conroy is a cut above everybody, man. Conroy called it down the middle. He don't care.
Yeah, and he was actually supposed to be on this, but he's out camping with children right now. So
hope you make it home safe.
We're gonna try to make sure he gets on. I'm still under the impression he's a little bit scared to get on here. Him and Lewis are rather reluctant when it comes to like, oh yeah, here's a link. Oh man, sleep, work, other stuff. But it's all good. So whatever, shout out to them and all the people that were viewing the live podcast and people who are viewing the future. Your views are appreciated. And if you enjoy the podcast, please share this on multiple platforms if you need. Get really good feedback from the people that do watch this. So, and, you know, it's obviously a good product. So, you know, it's just expanding the audience at this point. So we're going to try to make a big push this last month because I believe we're coming up on the year. We're going to try to make a big push for 100 subs by July 25th. So with that being said, catch you next week. Peace.